There's a moon in the sky. It's called the moon. And everybody is there. Including Saturn. Saturn.
Most scientists believe that just over 4.5 billion years ago, the dust orbiting our sun began to coalesce into larger and larger fragments, gaining mass and attracting even more debris until finally they formed into what would be called the planets. The planetoid that was to become the Earth was in a nearly identical orbit with another, smaller planetoid called Theia. Inevitably, they collided, and the larger Earth absorbed most of Theia, but in the process, much of the surface of Earth was flung out into a debris ring around the young planet. The ring debris quickly formed into what we now call the Moon. Throughout human existence, the Moon has drawn us into its spell. Each society has its own idea of just what the Moon is and what it symbolizes.
A trader from Karth told me that dragons come from the moon.
The moon?
He told me the moon was an egg, Khaleesi. That once there were 2 moons in the sky, but one wandered too close to the sun and it cracked from the heat. Out of it poured 1,000 dragons, and they drank the sun's fire.
Moon is no egg. Moon is goddess, wife of sun. It is known.
It is known.
As the Earth travels around the sun, the Moon orbits around the Earth. When the Moon is in between the Earth and the Sun, it is invisible to us and is called the new Moon. It is in this phase alone that it is possible for the Moon's shadow to fall on the Earth and create the phenomenon called a solar eclipse. When the Earth is between the Sun and the Moon, the light of the Sun can reflect fully on the Moon's surface, and we call this a full moon. It is only in this phase, and at night, that we might see the Earth's shadow cover the Moon and create a lunar eclipse, as this time-lapse photo shows. The phases of the Moon were an important way for ancient people to keep track of time, and give us the name month. Do you know what phase the Moon is in today? Tides are periodic rises and falls of ocean levels. Tides are caused by the gravitational interaction between the Earth and the Moon. The gravitational attraction of the Moon causes the oceans to bulge out in the direction of the Moon. Another bulge occurs on the opposite side, since the Earth is also being pulled towards the Moon, and away from the water on the far side. Since the Earth is rotating while this is happening, 2 tides occur each day. For hundreds of years, humans have wondered what the Moon was like. I mean, where are you going to go when you run out of cheese for your crackers?
Everybody knows the moon's made of cheese.
In 1962, President Kennedy declared that the United States would put a man on the moon before the end of the decade. In July of 1969, the Apollo 11 astronauts landed, and Neil Armstrong became the first human being to step on the moon's surface. Many astronauts followed and collected samples for scientists to study, as well as perform experiments of their own. Since there is no wind on the moon, all of their footprints, flags, and anything else they left up there is still exactly as they left it and will remain forever. So the next time you look up at the moon on a clear night, remember that it's more than just a pretty light in the sky.